Really?
Yeah.
That thing is
Really?
so cool. Really?
Yeah.
I don't even plan.
So that's our, we are recording.
Okay, sweet.
We'll let you corral us.
Okay, panelists, are you guys ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have you guys hand the, yes, it is. You get to sit in any seat you want. All right, you get to start with this guy. We have to use the mic because there will be people that join us on Zoom and they're just kind of quiet in the background, but then also we record it. So there'll be people that will want to watch it. You never know. There could be 4 people or there could be 24 people. So those of you guys that have been part of this, the rookie real estate series, these guys, I'm not going to say that you're rookies anymore. And we kind of talked about taking the rookie part from that playbook because it's just really for anybody who wants to increase their volume in business. So the reason that we asked these guys is because it's awesome when Lonnie gets up here and shares, and their team always produces big numbers. They hover around like 20 million in sales volume every year. And also Lonnie's been doing it for 100 million years too. And his parents were in the real estate industry and his brothers in the more like, there's just like, that's awesome. And it's different when you come in and you're like, hey, I'm new to Kansas City and I don't know everybody and their brother. And Lonnie graduated from Belton High School. Like, I don't know everybody and their brother in town. So how do I start a business? How do I build from the ground up? Or if you're like me, I'm a transplant. I came from another industry. So a lot of my adult working career was in a totally unrelated industry. So it was like a night and day shift. And I kind of fought imposter syndrome a little bit. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm jumping ship and moving from one thing to the next and don't have any experience and don't know what I'm talking about. And so it took me a little bit to kind of swallow that frog and get over that. So we asked you guys to be a part of this because Lacey's, how long have you been in this business?
This year will be 5 years. At the end of this year, so 4.5-ish.
Okay, 4.5, 5 years. Silas?
3 years.
3 years. And James? 2 years. So these are not people that have been in it for 15 years, like a Sandy Paxton, or 34 years, or whatever. We've got people that have been through a bunch of different brokerages. James, what brokerage did you start with? Silas, what brokerage did you? And you guys?
Same.
Well,
no.
Keller Williams
Platinum.
and Lee Summit.
Sure.
Platinum Partners.
Okay, perfect. So 2 of them started right here at Southland. You guys started with KW.
Right.
Over in Lee Summit, and then moved your business over here. So really, if you guys have any questions, raise your hand and we'll get them answered. So we would love for you guys to take just some on-the-fly questions. But also, we had some leading questions just to get conversation going and so that we could learn a little bit from you guys. So the first thing is, tell us what kind of like sales volume, and remember, you have to pass the microphone. Otherwise we don't record you guys in the Zoom meeting. So Lacey's, tell us either your rolling 12 months or last year's GCI. Give us like a kind of an idea about what kind of volume that you guys are doing, how many units or what your GCI was.
So last year we were at just shy of 150,000 GCI.
Okay.
And that was on 23 transactions. I mean, rural areas, you don't get as much per transaction, so you got to do a bit more.
Okay, perfect. So that sounds like Caitlin made about 150,000 and Jake didn't make any. So perfect. Yep, perfect.
Golf swing looks good.
Yeah, it does. It does. I can hit the ball straight. That's perfect. That's perfect. Silas, tell us your numbers there.
So mine, I had to write down. I'm not very good at. My wife kind of does that, but I did last year was 280,000 in GCI, and that was 30 units.
Okay.
So that's kind of what all of last year.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, sir. James?
So I think we did about 150 GCI, and I think it was 22 units.
Okay.
What that was.
Okay, perfect. So hang on to the mic. We'll go in waves and kind of come back. Okay, so these guys, would you say that they have a full-time business? Right? Those are real numbers on the leadership or on the like KW management side of things. when agents come in, we usually, like right now, it'll be Brandy having this conversation with them, or Sandy in the productivity coaching program, which Ryan and I were both been productivity coaches, so we know this conversation. We want to help agents formulate their business around how much income they need to make or desire to make. And what's usually the typical answer? $100,000. Everybody always says $100,000. So for me, I'm just like, okay, if that's the game we're going to play, $100,000 is what you need to make. So anything above that, now you're in business, right? Now you've got a legitimate business going. If you're making 50, 60K a year in GCI, can you live on 60K a year? Yeah, you can. I like to say, though, that at that rate, you're working for wages. You basically have a job and you're running and gunning to pay your bills, right? Once you get over that 100K mark in our area, because the average salary is like $54,000 a year. So if you go out and get a real job, expect to make somewhere around that 50,000 mark. So if you're in that, you have a job. Above that, now you're building a business and you can start creating leverage and you can start creating choices and options for yourself. So we'll talk about some of the options, but I'll stay on track for right now. Okay, so transactions, I didn't hear anybody say that they were doing 50, 60, 70 transactions and working 90 hours a week. Okay, this wasn't a question, so I'm throwing one at you, so don't panic. On average, James, about how many hours a week would you say that you put into your production?
Oh, man.
I know, I'm throwing a rope at you.
25, 30 hours a week. I think that would be working on production. Now, that wouldn't include existing things in the pipeline we have going, like follow up with existing clients, existing listings, that kind of stuff. But
Sure.
like 25 to 30 hours a week, just hunting and trying to find new clients, things like that.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Silas, about how many hours would you guesstimate?
I mean, just like anyone, it's so hard to track or anything like that because
It is.
there may be an hour where, you're sidetracked or whatever. But there's, that evenings you're up texting, your wife's like, get off the phone. And I'm like, no. But, I mean, I would say, I'm in the office every single day from 8:30 to 4:30. So
Okay.
whatever that is, and trying to obviously maximize what I'm not always on track. I may be talking to Devon or this, that, and the other. But, I would say 40 hours a week, easy,
Okay.
100% with the evenings and stuff like that. Maybe 50 or 60 some weeks, but
Sure.
definitely 40 hours a week is what I
Okay.
would kind of guess.
Absolutely.
give or take.
Yeah, thank you for that. There's no right or wrong answer. I threw this one at you for a reason.
We're probably about the same as James. It's hard to say because in the summertime, you don't get to sleep, you don't get to eat. But when you average it out, because in the wintertime, sometimes you're not doing much. So probably 25, 30 average.
Are you talking farming or real estate?
Real estate.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Jake's like, I take off in the winter. As soon as the sun goes down, I don't work anymore. So in the winter.
But there's just less going on.
So do like the way that they thought through that and some of the side comments that they made about how many hours a week, can you guys relate to that? Right? Like I don't know, like it's kind of hard to track because sometimes like I'm running a doctor's appointment or sometimes I'm working on my swing at the driving range, but then other times I might be texting with a client while I'm laying in bed watching Friends reruns or what, there's a lot of give and take in the business, right? So 25 to 30-ish, 25 to 30-ish, and they're making 150K in GCI. Guy that's running all the time, but he's also making 280,000 in GCI too, right? So, if we're running the statistics, if James is doing 150 at 25 to 30, and then he puts in the same amount of hours that Silas is, we're talking doubling. If you're doubling your hours, you're doubling your production, right? So I still go back to, in this career choice, there is no other industry that you can get the return on your time investment that you can in real estate. I don't know any other career choice that you could go and they would hire you and let you work 25 to 30 hours a week and pay you $10,000 a month. And I don't know any other career choice where you can make almost $300,000 and not work your butt off all the time. That's the reality. Now, also, you're getting to the point here where now you can start paying for leverage or creating leverage. I didn't put this in your question, but just show of hands, do any of you guys leverage your time? A transaction coordinator, marketing help, social media help? What do you do? What do you do, James? Okay, yeah. Absolutely, right? I hate that. I hate doing the transaction stuff. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what my workload and what like I'm trying to accomplish. But I mean, if it's not your number one, farm it out, right? And at a certain point in your business, it doesn't make sense. I don't know if we were to like, here, let me just do some super quick math here. James said 25 to 30 hours a week. I'm going to be super like, I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to say you work 30 hours a week, right? At $150,000 divided by 30 hours, that's $5,000. Nope, sorry, I did the math wrong. That's a way too high of a rate. 150,000 if you worked 30 hours a week, right?
Divided by 30, divided by 52.
There you go. Thank you. Oh, I can't even push the right numbers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's about $100 an hour, right? It's about $100 an hour. So if he's doing something that you can outsource for less than that, you're money ahead, right? You're money ahead if you can outsource for less than what you're making. Oftentimes, though, we get stuck in job mentality and we're like, well, I'm going to do this because I want to maximize my income. I could make an extra $350 or $450 if I do the TC work myself. I can make an extra $100 if I don't pay the photographer the $100 marketing fee to do this. You know, some of the photographers they'll do the flyer blast for you. They'll do the social media video and you just download it and throw it right on your social media feed, but it's an extra $100 line item. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll make an extra 100 if I just do it myself. And then what do? I end up spending 40 hours trying to get a social media video put together. And then at the end, I get tired and I don't even post it. And then the house closes and I'm like, oh, crud, I need to post the social media. Or it could have been done for $100. But that's the business side of the mentality thinking. Okay, next question. Who's got the mic? Jake's got it. Jake's in the hot seat. I love it. I love it. Okay, where are your clients coming from? What are your top 3 lead sources? How are you getting the business? Because some of us are like, I don't even know who to call. I don't know what to do.
So I would say the majority of it comes from social media, which Caitlin runs that. I don't touch it.
Yeah.
We get quite a few referrals now, but I mean, starting off, I feel like you got to make a little bit of money before people start sending you business. It's
Yeah,
right or wrong,
sure.
that's how it is.
Just started getting the referrals probably last year from
Okay.
like friends and
Like
family.
consistent.
So like year
Consistently.
3, 4-ish, and there is when you kind of started seeing some repeat or referral business from
Yes.
past
Right.
clients, friends and family.
Right.
So you had to build a little bit of a
track.
track record
Yeah.
before that credibility was
Mhm.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And then I'd say, honestly, just being out in the community for the third one is just what works for us.
Okay. Tell Caitlin, jump in there real quick. What were some of the social media things that you do consistently?
Yeah, so I do a lot of listing of the days is what we call them. So they're not necessarily our listings. And when we were new, we didn't have any listings. And so anybody in our office was super easy to reach out to, like, hey, can I post your listing at such and such address, giving listing courtesy to you at our brokerage? Most of the people say yes.
Sure.
And so I would do those every day. And honestly, if you go into Facebook, you can schedule your posts throughout the week. And so I would just do a few hours in the office and schedule Monday through Friday of my listing of the days. And that had a lot of buyers actually reach out like, hey, we would like to go see this house. I'm like, oh, sweet. It's working.
Yes,
So just
absolutely.
continuing to do that helped a lot.
Can I pause you for real quick?
Yeah.
There are agents out there that I don't know what is going on in their head that they're like, well, that's my listing, so I don't want anybody else to market it. Like, I don't understand that because most agents that have that mentality don't do a really good job at marketing their stuff. You know, it's like,
Yes.
you're not selling it anyway, so why would you not want another agent to sell it for you? I would be stoked if I had a listing and Caitlin marketed it and then brought a buyer to the table.
Right.
Right? I want to work with one of our agents. So if you're in here, it's not, I don't know if it's lack mentality or what, but I want as many people to see that as possible. I don't understand that mentality, but great job asking, because sometimes people don't even want to ask another agent to post their stuff. In our office, especially, any of the top producers in here, like I know Ryan, you don't even have to ask him, just post it. Like he wants you to market his stuff. I want you to market my stuff. I want you to what?
As long as you give credit to the team.
That's right. You got to give credit to whose listing it is.
We see
Absolutely.
You see that a ton where listings get ripped off. And
Yes.
I've had that happen. I'll get online, not in our office, of course.
Right.
But other offices, those agents, I don't know what they're thinking. They think they can market the listing as theirs, and it just, they strip everything down. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
You do a great job of that. There's an agent, she's not in our office. Her name's Maggie Harrison. And Maggie Harrison, there was a time that I was like, man, this gal is like a top luxury agent. And I love watching her videos and stuff. I don't even know if she's even sold anything. Every post that she does is like this incredibly cool video. And she's always given credit to whose listing it is. And I'm like, gal is just, it looks like she's a luxury expert. And I don't even know if she does any production. She might just be a marketing person, but she's giving credit to them always, the brokerage and whose listing it is. Why would you not want that? That's awesome. But she also has gained a lot of market credibility, which it sounds like you guys are starting to get that too, which is why you're getting the referrals. The last thing that Jake said was just being present in the community. What's that look like? Give me an example of.
So we joined the Lions Club in Adrian probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 this year. But we've got for sure one deal from that listed a guy's house there, and then a potential listing down the road. So that helped. I look at it like, okay, here was our commission on that. That paid for my lion dues.
Yes.
Like for the rest of my life.
Yep.
So that run a bowling league in Adrian. Our home builder owns the bowling alley in Adrian, and so that made that connection there also. Volunteering on the park when the kids have their softball games and stuff. We go in there and do concession stand. That really helps.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Things that they would probably do anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly,
Things that you would probably do
Yeah.
anyway, and they were just been super intentional about making those business connections. Great job.
Mm-hmm.
Silas, top 3 sources of business. Where's your business coming from?
I feel like when I started, it was like open houses were kind of like my niche, and because everybody's different. But if I get in front of someone one-on-one, like it's pretty, I don't know, I can make a connection with them really quick. So, not that I wasn't, buying leads and cold calls and stuff like that. It was just literally sitting in open houses and trying to, talk to people. So, that was kind of like my last year, like I closed, there was one open house, and they're not guaranteed. Like I haven't had luck off one in a little bit. But there was one open house that I ended up that year closing 3 deals off that one open house.
One open house.
But just doing it consistently, you'll find the people that, want to work with you and whatever. But I think last year I closed 5 deals off of just, leads from open houses. So, but a lot of it is, like being in the community. So like, just word of mouth really. And people reaching out to me was the other kind of thing. And I've been lucky to where like I could relate to maybe Lonnie a little bit. Like my family's been in Pleasant Hill for a long time. And before I was in real estate, I had a car detailing business. So I was working with a ton of the community.
Sure.
Now getting transferred over to being the real estate guy was my biggest goal. Like that's not the car detailer,
Yes.
So it was a hoop to jump, but I'm there now.
Yep.
But just staying in front of people's eyes, because if you have the billboards, you have the whatever, that's not after getting the call, oh, he's in real estate, let me call him. It's people seeing it over and over. So every homecoming game, all the football stuff I'm sponsoring, and the magazines that they send out, Parks and Rec, the little league teams, like I'm on jerseys and this, that, and the other, just so you can stay. And that's the thing, is just trying to stay in front of people's eyes. And the same with social media too. Just, posting and staying in front of people. So that's kind of what I just go at and because I think that a lot of times the business will come off that. Like after, 3 years in real estate, and last year, that would have been, I guess, my 3rd year. The amount of just calls, hey, I was referred by so-and-so or this, that, and the other, was actually crazy just because it's like I haven't been in it very long, but being in a small community,
Yeah.
in a tight community really, really
What
helped
year
me.
in business is this for you again?
I just got done with 3, so I guess I'm on my 4th
You're
year. But
starting your 4th year. So
yes,
that's a similarity, right? With the referral calls about that 3-year mark. Like,
yeah,
don't expect to get a ton of referrals in your first 6 months,
mhm.
right? Like that piece of it does take time to build that up or pull the rubber band back or whatever you want to call it. That takes time on task because people want to see that you're going to be reliable, that you're going to stick with it, that you're going to do it. Because this is a tough business. People like Sandy Paxton make it look super easy. It's freaking hard. Like, I mean, it like you have to be intentional. Okay. And then I heard 2 things with both of these guys now: being visible in the community. They're not secret agents. People know them. They're getting in front of people. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Silas. James, top 3 sources of business. How are you getting business? Where's it coming from?
Well, I would say for me, all through my relationships, I'm a bad salesman in the sense of I don't do leads, I don't do cold calls, I don't do any of that. If I know you, I have a good relationship with you, and I try to build on that. Most of mine comes from relationships I built in past life at Citizens Bank, right? So I worked down in Butler for 2 or 3 years down there, 7 years in Cleveland. So through kind of the lending side of it, when I was in that, I just built a bunch of good relationships with people in real estate, whether it was even agents, tons of investors, home builders, things like that, and I did well. So when I kind of flipped the script and went agent, I still get calls today about giving people loans and lending, and so being able to kind of transition them to kind of like Silas said, from I'm not the lender, I'm the agent now. That's been fun, but I mean, a ton of my business is referrals. It's not, not the homeowner calling me or the buyer. It's another loan officer I worked with 5 years ago, sending a group text introducing John Doe. Hey, John, this is James. He's an agent now. Worked with him for 10 years. He's awesome. If he has if you want to go look at a house, do anything like that, this is the guy. I mean,
That's awesome.
That's what I get a lot of mine through, and keeping those relationships going, not just for the business. Is a big thing for us. So I say us, me. So not just, talking to Tim Eastwood and Drexel at the bank when it comes time to do business. It's checking in on him once a week. How's the family? How's this? Let's go to lunch. And a lot of times we'll go to lunch. We don't talk about business. Like we just don't. So for me, it's all just keeping a good relationship with those people that I've met in my past, and trying to build new relationships. And this facet has been fun. I'd say, but most of my business comes from relationships I've made over the last 10 years, not what I've done the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. So he echoed that. It came from not being a secret agent.
Yeah.
Too many agents usually that fail in this business, it's not because they didn't know enough or because they weren't good enough. It was because not enough people knew that they existed in this capacity. So none of them are 007. You guys are all just as cool, but
Yeah.
none of them are 007s. They're not secret agents.
Yeah.
They're making coffee touches, their lunches, they're checking in via phone call. Hey, how's the fam? What's going on? How can I help? They're getting out, they're printing off jerseys with their face all over them and plastering them all over the baseball fields. No, I'm just joking. But you guys are visible in the community. They're getting out there. They're making themselves known to people. James, question, when you call, because you said like, hey, I'm just checking in with, I'm not calling them when I need business or when there's business to do. I'm regularly making touch.
Yep.
Do you ever, when you're getting ready to make that phone call, do you ever feel like, I don't want to pester this person, or this is probably a bad time for me to call them? Do you ever feel that way?
No.
Why not?
I know them, and we've kind of formed a relationship. And again, if I was just calling them about business and I knew that, I think I would feel that way. But I don't. And a lot of times, what I think I miss too is I'm sending them as much business as they're sending me. Same thing. I get a lot of business through I do some investing and flip some houses, and we have some rental properties and stuff. So I get business through my contractors too. Like I'm constantly shelling out my their information. I get a lot of calls. Do you have a tile guy? Do you have so I try to send them more business than they'll ever send me. So a lot of those times a call is for that. Hey, last night my aunt called at 9 o'clock, had a leak, and needed someone to come look at it. So making calls at 9 o'clock last night to try to get a plumber to her house and someone to do that. But no, to answer your question, I don't, just because I'm not calling them saying, hey, can you send me another deal? Hey, like I never would do that. I don't want it to come off that way. It's either I'm sending them something, or I just genuinely see that they made a Facebook post about their oldest son, who's a senior, scored the game-winning point, and I'll just pick up the phone and call him and say that was awesome. So
very cool. So James isn't an asshole. He's not always calling, asking for business, asking for a referral, asking for something. He's coming with an item of value. He's coming from contribution. Some people would call that, like when you mentioned your subcontractors, and those are strategic alliance business partners, preferred vendor, business to business relation, whatever you want to call it. He's creating relationships by adding value to those businesses. If James calls me and every other time I answer the phone, he wants to connect me with a new client that would benefit my business, I'm going to answer every time he calls, right? And then also I'm going to want to just naturally return the favor. And if I'm one of those subcontractors that for some reason doesn't, I'm probably not going to be his preferred business vendor for very long. He's going to find somebody that's a mutual win for him. So if you're not doing that, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really easy, because all the time, if you just look at social media at all, even like on the Belton community page, the Adrian community page, the Raymore page, the P Hill page, there's always people like, who do you know that's a flat worker that can fix my sidewalk? How many contractors do we know that would totally jump on that, right? Or, hey, I've got a plumbing leak and I'm trying to do this, and what tips and tricks do you have? My tip and trick is I call Proline Plumbing or Epic Plumbing or whoever, I'm giving shout outs to my people, and I usually tag them in it so they see that I've given them a shout out. Like you're coming from contribution, you're adding value to them when you do that. Okay, so you guys have shown that you do 24, 25 deals a year. That's a lot. That's 2 a month, which means they also have a bunch of other irons in the fire at the same time. So you have properties in escrow all the time, but then you've got your pipeline that you're filling. How do you keep all of that straight? Do you use a CRM system at all, James, or is it all just like you write it on the inside of your palm?
You guys will hate this.
Good.
It's in my cell phone. I only use my cell phone. And this is odd. I try to go to lunch or breakfast by myself once a week, and I'll spend 2 hours sitting there just drinking coffee. And I go through my text messages over the last 12 months, and I'll just make sure I didn't miss anyone. I'll go through all my contacts, just reach out to people. Also, I always set reminders in my phone, like, hey, follow up with so-and-so. But I 100% operate off my phone.
You're right. We all hate you. You are the worst.
No,
absolutely.
Lonnie would like. The stuff Lonnie's had us do, having emails, and I'm so bad at all that. I don't do any of it. I just operate off my phone. I text, I call, and I just make sure to take time each week to go through and do it.
We don't hate you because there's way more than one way to do things, right? And also, it sounds like he has somewhat of a system. It may not be the best system and it may not be scalable, but it's just you. You're the lead generator in your business right now, right?
Yep.
So that works to a certain level. And I would say that your system, having breakfast once a week by yourself, making sure that he said he sets reminders in his phones. That's the same as notifications and command, right? Like he still has a system, it may be more complicated because it all relies on him to do it, right? So it's not very scalable, but it is a system and it works better than what most people do because you have the results. Results don't just show up by accident in this business. And so sticking to it, sounds like you do it consistently.
Oh, yeah.
And the reminders in your phone is a great way because you guys have seen whenever I do things transparently and I show you my command, I've got all these notifications that are like dated that I never responded to. A lot of good it does to set a notification in my CRM if I'm not in it daily and seeing it. At least when it's on your phone, you're seeing it all the time, because who goes anywhere without their phone? I don't even go to the bathroom without my phone. So there's that. If you ever get an accidental social media post and it's like the side of a urinal or like my shoe, like, sorry, posted that one on accident. Silas, what is your form of a CRM? And just real quick, CRM just stands for client relationship management, right? Or customer relationship management. It's just a tool. You can use software, you can use your phone, you can use a piece of paper. That's Lonnie's CRM. Do they use Command? Yes. But Lonnie also has a piece of paper that he's always like flipping back and forth and looking, and everybody does something different. So, okay, go ahead, Silas.
Yeah, and I, like you say, there's like no right or wrong way, but there's definitely a more ideal way, with Command. And so I do both. Like all of my past clients, I'm putting in Command. I'm putting tags and notes by them and putting them on a drip or whatever. But my biggest thing is I have a giant whiteboard in my office, and that's how I keep everything straight. That's like my brain. If someone went in and erased that, not good.
You'd be hosed.
Yeah. But that's just, it's sitting there. I can see it all day long. All my past clients, and then I have like, different leads. So like kind of cold leads. These are the guys. Here's my active buyers. Here's my listings. This is when this expires, this, that, and the other. Just kind of a brain that I can look at all the time. So that's like kind of the biggest thing I use. But yeah, I've got everybody on Command and everything, just in case, something happens or whatever it may be. So I think it's kind of good to have maybe a couple things to use. So
Sure.
yeah, but that's a big help.
Probably that's a good idea. It sounds like he's possibly in an area of transition there where like the whiteboard works for him. I love seeing the whiteboard, because sometimes if I don't get somebody on a notification, I've got them in my CRM and I've got all their info. And then next thing I know, they just bought a house with the Lacey's. And I'm like, I freaking forgot to follow up with them.
Yeah. And
right?
That's the biggest thing for me is like, I can see this in front of me. It takes a minute to get into Command, flip through all the pages, whatever the different, because it shows 10 per, I guess you can make it longer. But anyway, it takes a little more time to, get in there than it does to just see them and not forget about, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Thank you for sharing that.
Hi.
Hi.
So I have everybody in Command. I am not in there enough. So
Okay.
I really only use Command for our compliance. But
Okay.
I am the same. I have a whiteboard in my office that I have all of our active buyers on, and even our non-active buyers that I need to reach out and be like, oh, hey, didn't you want to buy this year? Or weren't you wanting to get into something before, summer? So I go through that. But at the same time, I guess I have like 3. I also have a notebook that has all of my stuff in it that I flip through almost daily, actually, and just go through it. I'm like, oh crap, I need to follow up with them or whatever. So Command is where I keep my database, my people, but then I use my whiteboard and my notes, I guess, to go through. I don't go into Command and add a note like I talked to them today.
Mhm.
It's on my actual notebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Jake doesn't do anything,
No.
because that's just
He's
not
golfing.
Jake. He just
Yeah.
doesn't do that. So good.
No, Jake does all the paperwork.
Sure. Jake's your TC.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, back to that whole point. That's why we don't do a TC, is because Jake is it.
Yeah.
It just
So,
makes sense.
I mean, if you want that, just marry Jake, and then you got a built-in TC.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
it. Okay. So some similarities there, right?
Mhm.
Because it's a little cliche phrase that success leaves clues. And so we are a rip-off and duplicate company, because there are some things that you can get creative on and you can build and do something new, but then also don't fix what's not broken. And what's working for high producers will probably work for you if you do the same. It sounds like what the one thing that I want to say that I picked up on is James, Silas, and the Lacey's, they're seeing it daily. They're seeing names on the daily. It's not like, well, I'm going to do a lead gen on Monday, and then Tuesday I'm going to, like, they're looking at their stuff all the time. That's how you don't let things slip through the cracks. If you're seeing it daily, it's so much easier to follow up because they're always in front of you. So you don't have to use Command, although you're paying for it anyway. It's part of your KW suite, but you don't have to use Command. Sometimes people will actually pay for a CRM software that's outside of KW. Somebody mentioned, Ben Kinney, his team started Brivity. People pay for that. Top Producer, Mojo Dialer, all the different things that you can do. In the end, it doesn't matter what you use. Use what works for you as long as you're seeing it all the time. That's the main thing, is seeing it consistently, because it's time on task over time. It just doesn't magically show up. Okay, perfect. And James, I'm watching the clock for you, so I won't let you down there. You guys kind of already talked about how often you're in it. As far as, so I would say, is this safe to say, a CRM and looking at the stuff, that's really good for lead follow-up. So you've got your leads, you've put them in there, and you may not even call them a lead. You may just call them somebody that I'm in relationship with. James mentioned that they're people that he's known in business or done business with for a lot of years. Silas, you had a previous business that you may have, like, you already had some visibility in the community. You guys are like bowling, golfing, going to events, like you're being visible in there. So you're plugging these relationships in. You're able to follow up with them because you're seeing them. How are you adding new names to that? So I know, like, some of the things, like you mentioned, like social media. So tell us, like, social media, how do you go from I'm making posts and doing things on social media to I now have a new contact, I have a new name, a new phone number, a new email? How are you getting that information?
I'm super bad about that.
Okay.
Not gonna lie. So on my listing of the days, specifically on Facebook, if someone tags something, which I've not been doing this for a while because I'm pretty pleased with our numbers so far this year, and that's really bad to say. I need to get back into it. That's me. But usually, like what I was doing last year was, if someone tags someone on my listing of the day, I send them a message. I'm like, hey, your friend so-and-so tagged you on my listing of the day. Are you interested in buying? And that actually got pretty good feedback. So,
And so what might one of those
this year?
What might one of their responses be? Yes, I am.
Hey, I am. What's the first step? Or, hey, yes, we have a lender. We just haven't started looking yet. I always put people on a home search link as well. So once I hear, I've started waiting until they're pre-approved now, because I don't like the whole, oh, we can go up to 350 when you're approved for 150. So
yeah,
get them in touch with a lender first. But if they already have a lender, get a hold of them. What are they approved for? And then send them that home search link, and then it starts from there.
Do you have a go-to lender that you guys use, like, more than others?
We have 3 on our list. And so my dad was actually best friends in high school with Tim Irvin at Neighborhood. And so we have him, and then we've got John McGoffin at Blue Collar Mortgage down in Adrian, and then Todd Branson, of course. Here Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
But we always send a list of 3.
If they if somebody responds to you and they're like, I am, and what's the first step? How do you go from that conversation to getting their actual phone number and email address?
Well, I don't always get their email address. But with our home search form, I will say you have to put your email address in that home search form. So I never really ask for it. It just goes in there.
Is that home search form something? Oh, okay, Jake did.
Yeah, it's a Google form. It's not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's pretty interactive, but I mean, I can send a copy of it to whoever wants it. Ask.
Okay.
But yeah, you just send in what's your criteria that you're looking for, what's your phone number, what's your email, and you can put them on that. To be honest, I don't think we grab emails and phone numbers because we're really bad about drip campaigns. So she can Facebook message them, and if they're interested, that's when we get all that information.
Yep.
Right.
So really, you let them come to us. Is probably not the best process, but it's what we do.
And again, there's no right or wrong way to do business. It's what works for you and your personality, right? Everything that Caitlin said for me is like, I shiver and I reject that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do that. I don't want to be connecting with people that I don't know on social media.
Yes.
And yet what I hear her is, I made $150K last year connecting with people on social media. And I'm like, I'm going to start doing that now.
Right.
They ignore you?
Right. Nothing.
I forget about it.
Nothing happens if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out, and you move on to the next one.
I had to get that mindset, because for the longest time, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to reach out to someone. They're not going to like me. And he's like, who cares?
Doesn't matter. You don't know them anyway. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Scenario, it doesn't work out.
I don't need any new friends. I already got my 2. Yeah. That's perfect. Okay. Thank you for that. Silas, what about you? How are we going from, like, my face is on a little kid's number 8 baseball jersey to I've got somebody's contact information now?
I think, like, that's hard to, put that
That's
together.
That's just named.
You know what I mean? That's just kind of like, seeing it, but
I was being a little tongue in cheek there, but
like, yeah. It's hard to say. I mean, when I had first started out, I was just kind of looking through my Facebook friends.
Okay.
That's a good thing to do. You know, you have these people on Facebook, and probably 80% of us in here, or everyone, has probably a quarter of the people on Facebook that they're friends with, they don't really know that well.
Yeah, sure.
So reaching out to those people. And also, like, I'll put, you know, the biggest thing too, get an app or something, reminder in your phone. It'll spam your phone. Mine does it at 10 o'clock. Facebook birthdays, text
Yeah.
everybody. Just, it's so easy.
Yeah.
Facebook literally prompts it. You can go there, hit everybody's birthday that's today. I do it every single day, no matter what. But anyway, back to,
Pause.
I feel like,
Pause. Did you hear what he just said there? I do it every day, no matter what.
mhm.
That's consistent lead gen, right? You guys have seen, some of you guys that have been in my classes, I do that. That's the best way for me to connect with people is social media birthdays. I don't even need to remember when their birthday is because Facebook reminds
Yeah.
me every day. And it'll also say who's upcoming. So I can, like, if I want to buy a gift or if I want to send something, then I know in advance
Yeah.
when their birthday's coming. Consistency, time on task over time. Tony.
Make sure you read it though, because I just told Miss Kay happy birthday from July 2023 just now.
Perfect. I love it. Hey, she's just going to love that you said happy birthday to her. She's not even going to care. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Where was I at? Oh, I guess feel like I'm good at coaching my people, you know, the people in my circle that maybe aren't clients, or, you know, my past clients and stuff. Like I had just a recent, my neighbor actually, I've lived next to him for a year. We talk quite a bit, whatever. He has now given me two really good, one I've already closed and one I've got under contract, two really good referrals, and finding those people and coaching them up, because it's not just, oh, hey, you know, I know this guy that's in real estate. You know, I'll give you his number or whatever, but it's, you know, he's, hey, you know, or I'll send you his number. He's going to reach out, you know, this time, whatever. And he's getting me their number instead of it's just like, oh, here's his number.
So
whatever.
you've trained your people to
Yeah.
get you their contact information, get you in
Exactly.
touch with them.
Yeah. And one was that, you know, they were at a ball game and it was just, my guy's name's Chet. And there was the Brown family. And, they didn't even really know each other, but he overheard them talking about selling their house. And he jumped into the conversation, was like, dude, I got an awesome realtor. So stuff like that, like those people are extremely valuable. Because, you know, I mean, our average.
So if I were to
commission is
draw a
100
VIP
bucks,
triangle on there, they'd be at the top.
yes, 100%.
Right?
People,
Yep.
and I've got 3 or 4 people that are, you know, gonna do that.
So he's got a great pyramid scheme going, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Pyramid scheme.
Something like that. But yeah.
I'm kidding.
I don't know if that helps a ton, but finding those people is, yeah, it's important.
Yeah. Okay. So that is like, those are his VIPs, and you've taught them and conditioned them to make that connection for you.
Yeah.
So it's inbound at that point then.
Mhm.
That's awesome. That's great. Okay. I know 2 minutes and then you're out of here, James.
2 minutes.
2
No,
minutes and
you're
you're out of here.
For me, so I'm super aggressive. Like I said, I'm not a good salesperson. I'm super aggressive on listings. Like I don't try to add buyers to my list. I don't even think about buyers. I just don't even think about it to an extent.
If you get buyers, I'll do them for 50. I'll pay you a 50% referral
No,
fee if you hand
but
me a
I
buyer.
did. It's half of my transaction volume is buyers. Right?
Sure.
But I'm reaching out to people with listings all the time. Like I'll just get on GIS and I'll look for some vacant tract of land. I'll look for
Don't
a
acronym
house.
us, man. What's GIS? We don't know.
It's this I don't know what it stands for, to be honest.
Okay.
GIS. What do you-
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. How do you find? Yeah. It's
It stands for
the county website.
Geographic Information System.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thank you. Why you know that?
I
don't know.
love
I
it.
don't know that. But I do things like that. Like I will hunt listings. And when I said 25 to 30 hours of looking for business, it is 28 hours of the 30 is listings. I mean, and through calling those listings, I will get the buyer side on some of those. So
Yeah.
I found that hunting buyers is just like an impossible thing for me. For some reason I've tried, never had much success, but the listing stuff works for me. And then once I found that, I get a listing, we do well on a listing. Just recently, we had a couple that, you know, was on the market for 280 days. We ended up getting it and getting it sold. So those people just, they like flood my phone with people because they're happy what we did on the listing side.
For sure.
So that's where I'm getting most of my buyers is people that I've done listings for or reached out to a listing. And yeah, we've thought about selling that investment property of ours, but you know, we don't know what we would do with the money, and then it turns in. So I do a lot of investors and listings. So that's honestly how I get most of new people is through my listings. I get referrals through those.
Okay.
Through those.
Fantastic. Okay, hand the mic to Silas. It's 10:46. You get out of here. We're going to talk bad about you when you're gone so that you can't defend yourself. Did anything that he just said absolutely blow your mind? When he was like, it's so much easier for me to like get listings than buyers. Like I've tried to get buyers and I haven't had much success. I'm like, most agents would say it's the opposite. Like it's super easy for me to like be in an open house, right? It's so much easier for me to be in an open house and pick up an unrepresented buyer that they're a first time buyer and they have no money and a 505 credit score. And right, like it's so much easier for me to find a buyer. I feel like it's way harder to find a listing. So that's mind blowing to me. I really want him to like teach a find a listing class now. And then also, I never even thought about using GIS to find listings. I totally want to know now, like everything that he does to find that. If you go to the county website, the geographic info system, it's how you find out who owns a piece of property, what the property taxes are there any easements on it? Is it in the flood zone? Yes, you can also go to FEMA, but GIS shows everything about, are there past due property taxes on it? You can find out all of that information. So when you're like, hey, I wonder who owns this, that's where you go. Sometimes you can get their contact information through it, but usually you can't. So then I take that information and plug it into Fast People Search or something like that. I would be super curious to know your system at some point, but we'll get you out of here and we'll catch you on the next one for that. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. Congratulations on building a great business, man. Keep it up. Okay, so mind blown for me. Was that new information to anybody else or just me?
No,
I've never thought about using GIS to go hunt listings. That never crossed my mind. Do you do that? You do? Ryan's like, yeah, every good agent does that, you idiot.
No, I don't do it myself, but it gets done.
Okay.
But then you find out who owns that, and then I'm like, well, what else do they own? And then you find out what else they own, and then you call them up, and you're like, are you looking to sell? Nope. Well, what are you looking to buy this year? And then it's either one way or the other.
Sure.
So it's you can expand or contract.
That's like a whole other facet of business, right? Like, I feel like that's a couple $100,000 a year just on its own. Never even crossed my mind to do that. Ryan's like, we all do it, guy. Where you been? Where you been for the last 10 years? Everybody does that. Sorry.
We just kind of like that, but we use our MLS Touch app.
Mike.
Oh, sorry. Hello. We've been using our MLS Touch app, which I know it's a little different because we're together. So like he drives really slowly by the neighborhoods and I'm on my MLS Touch app looking at who the owners are, but because we're specifically looking for our first like fixer-upper or property from the wealth building class.
Okay, wait, stop. Mm-hmm. So are you saying you're driving a neighborhood, you see a distressed property, and you're like, that's one that we could do a flip on?
Yes.
But we need to know who owns it and how to get a hold of them.
Even if you can't flip it, if you reach out to them, it's out of your price range. If they want to sell it, you can help.
Well, and you can
list it.
Right. Like you can see on there, like I click on the parcel and then you can see the tax billing address is different. Like they live in Harrisonville. This is Adrian house. Okay. It's probably a rental.
Yeah.
So then I write down all these addresses, go home and I send out my 50 letters or whatever. My issue though, is that I don't send out 5, 6, 7. I will only send out like 2 or 3. I never hear from them. And then I don't go back into it.
Okay.
So I need to.
So you just like self-proclaimed there's room for improvement.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Question. And if the answer is 0, that's great because there's no wrong answer. Have you guys picked up any listings doing that way?
One.
You have picked up one.
One.
Great.
5-minute Facebook post.
Oh my gosh. And what was the sale price of the house?
Like 52, 54,000.
And what'd you do for a commission on that?
Like $1,500.
Yeah.
$1,500 for a 5 minutes worth of social media post on it?
Yeah.
I'll take that bet all day long, every day, right?
Yeah. But my letters, once it's worked. we had someone reach out and said, hey, do you think they'd sell their house? They're
Also true.
Yeah, sorry, I thought we were talking about letters. And so I was like, yeah, let me send them a letter. And they gave me, I send one of our little kitchen magnets that we make, and then our business card along with my letter of, hey, your property at this. We have a buyer that's interested, whatever. And they called me like a week later and said, actually, yeah, we'll be listing it. And
For
so
sale by owner for a
we did
friend?
it for sale by owner for a friend, stuck a sign in the yard.
So what'd you get commission wise on that?
$6,000?
Yeah.
6,500?
Yeah.
$6,500
Yeah,
for
'cause
talking to a friend about a house that they were interested in. You sent a letter
Yeah, I sent a letter.
and put the deal together.
$215,000
They
house.
told me about this house. I just sent
You
the
didn't
letter.
even do any
Yeah.
heavy lifting. They said, hey, can you help us find this, figure out how to
Yeah.
buy this house?
Would they
Heard through
sell
the
this
grapevine
house?
that they're selling? Can
Yeah.
you reach out?
Right? Like sending a letter.
Yeah.
I mean, I can even not mess that up.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's an easy deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
$6,500.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Easy. That's how easy business is, guys. GIS and send letters and post on social media, and you can make $280,000 a year. Super easy. Okay. What's the next question that we had on there? Oh, what's the most important thing that you do for your business?
Well, for us, it's being in the community. We are rarely home. I do not like being in my home office. So we will go either in the bowling alley or to the local Mexican restaurant in Adrian or somewhere and just hang out there for an hour or whatever. Eat, of course, and we see so many people in the community. Oh, hey, how are you? Showing any houses today? Like they finally know that we're realtors
Mm-hmm.
in our area. So that's nice. But being in the community, 100%.
How many of you guys are like me and you want to be on Jacob and Caitlin's team? Mexican food, golfing, bowling.
We
Yep.
spend way
I'll
too much
totally
money
do.
on
Yeah.
food.
Sign me up. I'll do it.
We don't eat at home ever.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't hardly
That's an
ever
issue.
either.
Yeah.
I can relate to them because I am hardly ever in my office here. I don't even really have my home office
No.
looks like my laptop on the couch in the living room with like Friends or Survivor on in the background. Like yes.
I don't like being in the home.
Why
office.
not?
So, well,
Why don't you?
Don't make as much money.
honestly though, like
Okay.
if we're home and not talking to people, I notice I'm like, wow, we have a lull. Like we're not showing, we're not doing stuff. So
He's like, wow, I have to talk to Jacob now.
I'm like-
Oh gosh.
gotta get out of the house. Yeah, let's go get Mexican. That's probably where we're going after this. Yeah.
Okay, so
Just staying in Adrian
it's being visible.
helps us. Yes.
Well,
Okay.
that's the
To
thing.
come up to Belton and whatever, but Bates County just seems to be our
That's your zone.
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah, the other stuff supplements it, but we're mostly very local.
that's your sweet
But-
spot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing is like you could do as much marketing as you want, but how many people do you refer business to that you've never met? So like all these people have seen our stuff, but like Caitlin's really good at introducing herself and being goofy about it. But until those people meet you and talk to you, like yeah, they know you do it, but they don't know you.
Yeah.
And so you get a
Well,
lot less calls.
And I
Yeah.
will say this probably is weird, but specifically around us, if I don't know who the waitress is, I look at the ticket because we always get a receipt and I'm like,
Has her name on it.
so and so whatever. And Butler, I'm like, I'm gonna find her. And
Yeah.
now, specifically this waitress, we're friends now because I
Because you
found her on
Facebook stalked her.
and I text
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Okay.
But we always also
Wait. You Facebook stalked her
Yeah, I'm like,
and
let
then
me
you
know-
messaged her.
Yeah, I'm like, let me know when the boars and chicken special is back.
It's that easy.
You know you live in Bates County when.
Yes, it's so good. Anyway, that's at Steiner's and Butler. and
Okay.
It's so good. But we also, like when we're getting to know people, the first 4 or 5 times we go in, I leave my business card on the back and I'm like, thank you so much. It was a great experience with like a heart or something
Yeah.
right on the back. So
$50 for 1,000 cards. It's probably worth leaving one.
It's
It is.
probably worth, yeah.
I always do
Right?
it. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. What about you, Silas? What's like the most important thing that you do for your business?
It's so hard to say. I think my strong suit is making real connections because seriously, there's a couple outliers that I wouldn't mind never seeing again for the rest of my life. But like I would say, I mean, literally with the exception of a few people, like I think I make like real connections. Like these people at the end of the transaction, like it feels like we're breaking up. Like it, and these people I'm still, I'm talking to, and a lot of them are I don't know, I'd have to look at it, but probably 75% of my business is in Pleasant Hill. So
Sure.
these people are in the community and I live in the middle of town on a corner. Everyone's going by, whatever, waving, so,
Yeah.
But really, these people feel like friends at the end of the day,
Yep.
and they still are to this day. So I think just the personability and really making real connections is probably my strong suit and the most important thing for my business. So that's what jumps out to me. But I'm sure there's other things, but it's just, and also being, because I'm on a team and our office is in Pleasant Hill. So that is also one of my most important things, being in Pleasant Hill all day, every day,
Yeah.
and going to Casey's in the morning and running into so-and-so and
Yeah.
everybody, sees my car at the office and, waving whatever. But being around Pleasant Hill, running up and down, going home for lunch and, passing people on the highway, just having that presence
Yeah.
is really important, because I can say, like, if I moved 3 states over tomorrow, I'm not confident that in 3 years, I may be hard on myself, but I don't think I could, make 280 in GCI in my 3rd year. You know what I mean?
Okay.
In another state,
Okay.
because of not having those like just starting over, it'd be like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
especially in a bigger town. If I was to start fresh, in a town like Lee Summit, 3 states over, it'd be tough.
Okay.
So just kind of keeping
Could you do it in
around.
5 years though?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I think I cheated a little bit, like knowing
A little bit of an advantage because you farmed relationships. Sure.
but it's still turning. I mean, I could have made an ass out of myself in front of all the,
Yeah.
with everybody. So anyway.
I think maybe like Christian, you kind of are a transplant here. Steve, you're kind of a transplant here. Like, but for the most part though, what if it took you 5 years to get to 280,000 in GCI? Would that be okay? Right? Like, what if it was 6 years? Some people work their entire career and never make 100K a year, right? So whether it takes you 3 years to do it or 5 years to do it or 6 years to do it, okay, if I'm making $250,000 a year, if it takes me 10 years to do it, some people never accomplish that. So I appreciate your transparency there. That's huge. And also, I think you're probably not giving yourself enough credit, because listen to he's doing things consistently every day. He could sponsor a little league baseball team in any city that he wanted. He could go to Casey's every morning in any city that he lived in, right? Those are some things that I notice. And James does the same thing, and you don't have to live in a small town to do it. I'm super impressed that you said, like, I don't even leave Pleasant Hill because that's where I need to be. For me to think that a guy makes $250,000 a year living in Pleasant Hill, like, that is mind blowing to me. So congratulations. That's incredible. And also, he's super intentional. Like, does he need to go to Casey's every morning? Probably not. But, I could make my coffee at home, or I could go in here and I could see my 3 people that work at the cash register behind the counter every day. And I can see the people that are getting their coffee. That's the same reason I go to Starbucks. Do I need to spend $7 on a coffee? No. But if I'm at home having coffee, I don't see anybody that's going to promote my business in any way. But if I go into Starbucks, there's going to be those 3 people that I see every day. And then there's the Starbucks people that I get to know. And then there's going to be the people that come and go, that when they come in, I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. What drink did you order? Now I'm in conversation with them, right? Which I'm sure that's similar for you at Casey's. Okay, and we have 2 minutes left. So real quick, if you were to tell year 1 Silas a tip or a trick or something that you could go back and tell yourself in year 1, what would it be? Caitlin's pissed right now because I didn't give her this question up front. She's like, you.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Shoot.
Oh,
I mean, there's so many things. That stumped me.
Okay.
That's hard. Gosh.
Can I tell you what mine would be? Don't worry about looking like an idiot. For me, I didn't want, Ryan's like, you always look like an idiot, dude. Why would you ever
I
not?
was thinking of myself. I'm like, I know I look like an idiot.
Because I was so worried about, like, I don't want to say anything wrong. I want people to just think that I'm the industry expert. I want my social media to look, that's a whole reason why I don't do social media very well, is because I don't want it to look like it's day one of me doing social media. And if I could go back, I would be like, be the biggest idiot, make sure everybody laughs at you, make sure your stuff looks the crappiest, just do like put as much stuff out there. Don't worry about what anybody thinks. That's what I would tell my year one self.
I agree with that 100%. You know, and
Okay.
it's sitting there, you know, I'm trying to make these perfect, you know, posts and, you know, being self-conscious on Facebook and stuff, because, you know, it's all my friends and family and everything on there. That is probably, that's probably my biggest thing is just like the social media presence of it. Because you look at like, it does not have to be, and I've learned that it does not have to be perfect. There's a top producer, Brian Huff, I have on Facebook, just because we kind of share a love for, you know, cars. But the stuff he puts on his Facebook, like he'll just take random videos of, hey, I'm with my daughter, we're doing whatever, and you know, just random videos and things like that, just super personable that like, I'm like, man, I wish I could get away with those videos. It's just like him doing random stuff, you know? So you can do anything. And I think that's like, if I wasn't a realtor, like I'd be calling him just because he's so personable. I don't know him, never met him actually in my life. But it's like I'm friends with him because like he's putting this random stuff on Facebook. So even just personable stuff, you know, you're putting on social media that I wish, you know, it was like, and still, I guess I'm still to that point. I don't want to look like an idiot. You know what I mean? So,
you know what, Brian Huff, if you haven't met Brian Huff or haven't seen his business is incredible. And I know Brian well enough to know this is exactly what he would say. I don't care. He doesn't care. Like the reason why he posts all that stuff, his business is massive. Like he's not worried about what people think about him. This is who he is. Like he'll post whatever because he doesn't care. He's not looking for your approval. He's looking for your business. And really, you said this earlier, was my takeaway was that Silas was like, I just am really super authentic. When he's building those relationships, he's just himself unapologetically. I've seen him flip people off here in the office. Like, bro, you're just you. Like, you're just you. And you're not like, he's not trying to church it up. He's just himself. So you either really like the guy or you probably don't. But, and that's how Brian is. And so, good call on that. Good identifying that. What about you guys? Did we stall long enough to give you time to think of something?
No, I actually had it. Like I was like, oh, I got this one actually. So, but that's it, is to be yourself, because I don't show it here a lot actually, which is funny, but I am so much like you, like my personality. I am loud and obnoxious in the best way.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It's a compliment.
Thanks.
Yes, it's a compliment. But in my first year real estate anyway, I thought that I had to be very like polished and professional, and it did not work for me. Like we did not get anywhere with that. And so Jake actually had to remind me of kind of who I was, you know, and get back into being that personality. So that's helped a lot too. But that's what I would tell myself, is just to be yourself.
Great job.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much. Fantastic. You guys are crushing it. Keep doing it. The staff, the team is here for you guys. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. You guys are all going to teach a class now because I learned so much from every single one of you guys. Thank you guys. You're out of here.
You guys get to teach.
That was good stuff, wasn't it? Man, these guys, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. All right, go to Pleasant Hill, go to the bowling alley.
Right. Go get some lunch.
Has your bowling average gone up since you started
Listen.
networking there?